This is definitely a day where we get to recognize somebody who is very, very deserving of this. I've worked closely with John in the past. We've been on committees together. He actually works on my civil service board. Our sons played sports together, so we had spent a lot of time doing a lot of activities together. I do have a couple of quotes for you. You get the best efforts from others not by lighting a fire beneath them, but by building a fire within them. A coach's main purpose is to help his team reach its full athletic potential. Coaches are not chosen because they have ability and knowledge to get the most out of they're chosen because they have the ability and knowledge to get the most out of their players. The name on the front of the jersey represents those who you play for. The name on the back of the jersey represents those who raised you. Be sure you represent both of them the right way. And my last quote is, if you build it, they will come. And that's from A Field of Dreams, and you all did come, and I thank you very much. I'd like to call John up at this moment. I have a proclamation for you. Proclamation reads, whereas John Chuma has been recognized by the Borough of Frackville, Pennsylvania as being a mentor to our baseball community and the Teener Baseball League. Whereas John Chuma has dedicated his time and energy to provide our youth with numerous sports organizations, those being the Frackville Little League, Frackville Teener League, Frackville Biddy Basketball, Frackville Midget Football League, North School Baseball Program, the North School Football Program, with mentoring, developing, and being a team player and promoting these organizations, leading these groups and teams into numerous championships and successful careers and lives. Whereas John Chuma has given his time, energy, and money to improve our Frackville Baseball Teener Field. Whereas the Frackville Teener League has recognized the effort that John Chuma has made, the Frackville Teener League has renamed the baseball diamond within the boroughs, with the borough's permission, to be known as the John Chuma Teener Field. Now be it proclaimed by my authority as the mayor of the borough of Frackville, Pennsylvania, that within the borough that this day is known as John Chuma Day, acknowledged and declared the 12th of August, 2019.
At this time, I'd like Mr. Chawanski to come up. Mr. Chawanski has to present John with some stuff. So undo. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. First, I'd like to give special thanks to a number of people who were involved in putting together the sign that you see up there on Memorial Field. Special thanks goes out to Lloyd Dietz and John Chawanski, my son, who came up with the concept, the idea of putting up a sign there for the recognition of John. And also, I'd like to recognize and give special thanks to some of the people that put the sign up. In this case, Adam Cedar and my friend Woody. I don't even know his name, simply because you won't get out of the beard that he has, and I can't tell who he really is. But along with him, it's Scotty Hauser and myself. We installed the sign up on the pole, and it should be facing approximately to center field. But at this time, I'd like to say that we've gotten donations and monies together to pay for the sign, but we also have some leftover cash, and I'd like to present to John a check for $400 towards the Frackville Teener League, which will be enough to buy some balls for next year.
So one thing, just from my end, I wasn't at the meeting when they approached the council about the sign, and from what I do understand, there's a stipulation that during the season the sign is up, and then after the season the sign comes back down. So again, I would ask council to to re-look at that right now, make a motion that the sign stays up at all times. I'd like somebody to make a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I got a motion by Councilman Turtel, second by Councilman Zuber. Under question. Roll call vote.
Zuber,
Yes.
Nernicki,
Yes.
Berger,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Turtel,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
and Jordan.
Yes.
7-0.
All right, John. So, I'll be up there all the time. So one thing they asked me to do from Council President, again, I personally want to thank the people that got together with the idea of dedicating the field to John. So everybody that was involved in that, I thank you. And why we're here today is because some people called the borough and thought that, hey, it was a great idea. They believed that there should be some extra things done for John. And the Borough Council all agreed that we should do something personally and from the borough itself. So without any further ado, I do have John's, it's a pretty lengthy bio here, so everybody's got to, buy with me, so. But again, so John was born in Frackville and is a lifelong resident. He is the son of John and Lorraine Chuma. As a young boy growing up in Frackville, he played Little League Baseball, Teener Baseball, Legion Baseball. He also played high school baseball and basketball for Frackville High School. During that time, he developed a love for Frackville sports. Upon graduating from North Schuylkill High School in 1967, John attended Electronic Training Center, now called Lincoln Tech. John entered the Army in 1969. He completed 1 year on a tour of duty in Vietnam. His next year would be in a Walter Reed Army Hospital fighting a bout with cancer. After discharge from the Army in May 1972, John graduated from Penn State Schuylkill with a degree to teach electronics in vocational schools. In 1972, John married his high school sweetheart, the late Susan Hinkle. They were married for over 29 years. They had 3 children, John, Angela, and Chris. John has 7 grandchildren. I had a privilege to watch them play at his birthday party yesterday, so very nice family. John III and Tanisha, I wouldn't butcher that, have 3 children, Chris, Elijah, and Jalen. Alicia, there you go. Thank you. Angela and Jason have 3 boys, Joshua and twins Alexander and Asher. Chris and Katie have 1 son, Knox. John and his wife started 2 businesses in Frackville from 1973 to 1988. They operated John's TV repair. They started and operated a second business from 1979 to 2006 called Dynamark Security. They operated this for 27 years out of Frackville, installing fire alarms and burglar alarms. John sold the business in 2006 and the new company is now DM2 Security. John was always involved in Frackville's children's programs. While recuperating at home in 1972, he started umpiring Little League games for the Frackville Little League. Started coaching Teener Baseball in 1973 while still finding time to umpire Little League games. From 1973 until the present time, while taking a few years off to coach Little League and Legion Baseball, John is still involved in Teener Baseball, and he has coached Teener Baseball for 40 years. Some of his highlights in John's life, beside his children and grandchildren, are the following. John coached Frackville Little League for 6 years, coached Frackville Biddy Basketball for 12 years, coached Frackville Teener Baseball, and continuously does right now at 40 years. Helped coach Frackville Little League All-Stars to its first Schuylkill County District 424 Championship. Coached Frackville to the Teener Northern Division Championship 17 times. Coached Frackville Teener Baseball to the Schuylkill County Championship in 2013, 2015, 2016, and 2017. Coached Frackville American Legion Baseball for 3 years. Helped coach the Legion Baseball team to its Schuylkill County Championship in 1999. Started the Biddy Basketball in Frackville in 1989, which ran until 2003. Now, some of the boards that he was on, he was the past president or past vice president of Frackville Borough Council, past president of the Frackville Biddy Basketball Association, past president of the Frackville Midget Association, past president of the North Schuylkill Football Halftime Club, and past president of the North Schuylkill Baseball. John is presently a member of the Frackville Elks, American Legion, the Ambits, VFW, and is on the Frackville Flag Committee. He is a past member of the Frackville JCs, the Recreational Board, and the Lions Club. Besides these past accomplishments, John is most happy with past Teener baseball players going on to high school and playing college baseball. To date, Frackville Teener players went on to play Division I, Division II, and Division III college baseball, and currently has one player who is currently playing for the Chicago Cubs on their, I believe he's playing in the major leagues right now, playing for the Chicago Cubs in their A-ball league. That is John Chuma, bio. So at this time, I want to just give John Chuma a tribute from the council. In grateful recognition of your years of outstanding public service, we honor you to demonstrate that the contributions of one individual may truly make a difference in this community. We honor you as a perfect example of a public servant. You are remarkable for being a giver, selflessly and without exception of return. You have given your time to help others realize and develop their unique skills, talents, and through hard work, their dreams may be but a heartbeat away. Your happiness comes from celebrating someone else's happiness and success. So at this time, I'd like to present John Chuma, if you come up. At this time, I'd like to present you with the Outstanding Service Award presented to John Chuma on behalf of the Frackville Borough Council, borough residents, and many young athletes you have made a meaningful and positive impact on. We extend our heartfelt thank you. So at this time, I'd like to just play a video. If everybody would please take a look at the TV screen behind you. A young individual right now is the individual who's playing Chicago Cubs baseball in Oregon. Sent me a video. I'd like to play that for you.
This is very overwhelming. I said to Ron Jordan last week, I appreciate what you're doing and what council's doing, but what if only 3 or 4 people come? It's going to be very embarrassing. But I really appreciate you coming. I did write a little bit of a speech. I said to Ron, I'm just going to go up and say thank you. And he said, well, we moved the meeting from the Borough Hall to the Elks. You better say a little bit more than that. So some of the things I'm going to say, Ron already did say, but I just want to go over it again. Madam Mayor, Borough Council members, family, and friends, this is such an honor standing here this evening being recognized by the Frackville Borough. I would like to thank the Mayor, the Borough Council, and all my friends who were involved with starting this sign for the field and the special program this evening. I'd like to thank my family. If it wasn't for their support and the patience, I would not have been able to spend all the time that I did coaching. At this time, I'd like to introduce my family. My mother, Lorraine's here. She don't want me to say this, but she's 88 years old and still doing fine. My oldest son, Johnny, and his family, Tanisha, Chris, Alicia, and Jalen. My daughter, Angela, and her son, Joshua, and her husband, Jason, is at home tonight with their new twins, Asher and Alexander. And my youngest son, Chris and Katie, and their son Knox. And my best friend Tina, she's also here. I know the honor given to me tonight is for coaching all these years in Frackville. So I'd like to speak just a little bit about that. Please bear with me. I was born in Frackville. I enjoyed playing all the sports in Frackville. And back in the 60s, there was no malls, no video games. So all of us, everyone that's my age in this room, we all played Little League and Teener League and Legion. And that's where I fell in love with sports. I also played at Frackville High School and then for North Schuylkill High School. I graduated in 1967 and that was the first year of the jointure. But I still went to Frackville High School, Ashland still went to Ashland High School, and Ringtown still went to Ringtown High School. But our sports were played together. Upon graduating high school, I went to electronics school and then I enlisted in the Army. After serving a year in Vietnam, I came home to find out that I had cancer, and then I spent a year in Walter Reed Army Hospital. After several months of radiation therapy and a few operations, I always say I'm proud to be a Vietnam veteran, and I'm also proud to be a cancer survivor for 48 years. Probably wondering why I'm telling you this. Well, while recuperating at home in 1972, as Ron said, I started umpiring Little League games and coaching Teener baseball. And after that summer, I just got hooked on coaching. When I think back of all the boys and girls that I had the opportunity to coach, including T-ball and then instructional league, bitty basketball, Little League, Teeners, Legion, and then I went down and coached girls softball at North Schuylkill, and I still coach down at North Schuylkill for boys baseball. I realize how lucky I am and also how old I am. It's been 47 years coaching in Frackville. And serving this community has been a privilege and an honor that I'm so grateful for every day. It's a wonderful feeling to see young boys in our town playing sports, especially baseball. When you show kids the correct way to bat and hit and bunt and throw, and then you look forward and see them excelling, and you know you had a little bit of that success. It's the greatest feeling in the world. And all the coaches here tonight, which there's probably about 30 or 40, you all know that feeling. I've seen the boys go through our Frackville Teener program and go on to play high school baseball. And some go on to play Division 1, 2, and 3 football and basketball. And even one go into the major leagues. And it's so rewarding to be part of their lives while they're in their teens and to see these players reach their dreams. Of course, you know, the manager always gets all the recognition and the credit, but it's the assistant coaches that deserve so much of the credit. I am grateful and blessed for all the great help I had over the years. At this time, I would like to thank all the coaches and volunteers that helped me, along with every player that made Frackville Teener baseball such a success and highly respected throughout Schuylkill County. Over the years, some of the teams that I was associated with, we won some games, but we also had a lot of losses. But even when we lost, the players were always respectful and willing to learn. The players and coaches always had a good time, and it was important to me that they learn good sportsmanship above winning, and most of all that they had fun. As some of the opposing coaches stated over the years, Frackville kids would run through a brick wall for their coaches, and that always gave us a little bit of an edge. Some years we did have winning teams. And not only me, but all of the managers and coaches and players should be proud. It was an honor for me to be a part of the Frackville teams that won championships, and it's nice to see hard work pay off. Just to mention a few, because I see the players, some of the players here this evening, I see their parents, and I see the great coaches that were part of these games. I'd just like to mention, like Ron said, the 1995 team that won the district Little League championship. First one that Frackville won in Schuylkill ever. And then we went on to win the Section 3 Pennsylvania championship. And we were only a couple games away from going to Williamsport when we finally lost. There are players and coaches here tonight that were part of Frackville winning 18 Northern Division championships, and then 4 times winning the Schuylkill Teener Championship. And there's some Legion coaches here that I coached with, and we won in the year 2000 the Legion Championship. It's been a great run. Once again, I'm grateful to be part of these players' lives. At this time, I'd like to thank each and every player and coach for making my life so fulfilling. In closing, I'm truly grateful that you named the field in my honor. Again, thank you to the Mayor, Borough Council, my family, my friends, coaches, and past players from the bottom of my heart for coming here this evening. I will never forget each and every one of you. It's appreciated more than you could imagine. And I thank you very much.